Hey guys, ProdigiousTrip here. I got a chance to actually watch a couple of movies this weekend, so kind of want to talk about those. I got a chance to see Wonka, Madam Web, and The Beekeeper. I'll just start with the best one so far. The Beekeeper was the best. Anything Jason Statham does is always just like an adrenaline-fueled, high octane, good movie. I don't know how to put it. It's always a good movie. He always does some pretty awesome stunts, and in the movie, he was just really good. It's a typical movie with him in it. He's just like, he plays like a retired, some kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like a CIA spy or something, and he decided that he's going to, take care of bees. And I guess he's actually called a beekeeper because I guess he decides that, he can adjust certain things because the hive is the most important thing, and if the queen is messed up or if something's going wrong, it was an interesting movie. And again, it's just shoot them up, kill the bad guys, there's corrupt people, take them out, and the whole system goes back to normal. So it wasn't too bad. I was actually very impressed. I was just like, a movie for just called The Beekeeper. I really wasn't like expecting too much, but I was just like, oh, it's not too complicated, but it was still very interesting. And so the next movie I saw was, Madam Web. Now, I know that Sony has the rights to all the Spider-Man villains and characters and stuff like that, but this is ridiculous. Like, none of their standalone character movies from Spider-Man have done good except for the Into the Spider-Verse, which was, again, about Spider-Man. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see a movie that's about Spider-Man. So those movies were good. These movies about the side characters, like Venom did okay. Venom 2 was bad. Like, I love Carnage, and I love Venom. Those are my favorite, like, bad guy characters from Spider-Man, but they're trying to make him out to be kind of like a good guy or whatever. It's like, no, they're straight up villains. Just make them villains. Like, that would be a great movie of just villains taking over cities. And if you want to have your Spider-Man verse or whatever, just do that. Have your villains stay villains, taking over a city where no one's stopping them. And then if you still want to have Spider-Man show up later in another movie where he has to actually, like, fight all these other bad guys that have teamed up, that'll be a good movie. But I am just not impressed with anything that Sony has been doing with Spider-Man. Madam Web is supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, like not fortune teller, but she's be able to see the future. She should be able to, I don't want to say manipulate time, but she was very powerful in the comic books. And I remember, the only reason I ever remembered her was from the original cartoon from Spider-Man. And she recruited him to do, well, it was actually supposed to be to fight the Beyonder. And I guess they were trying to train him to do something, whatever. But for the most part, she was very powerful, but she was a good guy, blah, blah, blah. In this movie, it's supposed to be about her origin story. And I understand that if you want to give someone an origin story, that's fine. But this movie, they played it off like, oh, hey, you're going to see other Spider-Men in it, or not Spider-Men, but Spider-Women, or whatever, which is fine. But the whole movie was just mainly about Madam Web learning how to be able to see into the future a little bit and try to protect some people. It just wasn't done well. And you keep thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to pay off. There's going to be like this fight at the end of the movie or something where there's all these spider people fighting and blah, blah, blah. No. It almost came out like it almost looked like a horror movie, because there is a part in the movie where there's a guy that's a spider. He's not Spider-Man. In this movie, they talk about how there's this tribe in some foreign country or whatever that has the ability to be like spider people. And I'm like Spider-Man? They don't shoot out venom or anything, but they can sting you. They can walk around and crawl around like spiders and stuff like that. And I'm like, they were trying to make it like a thriller, like horror movie kind of thing. It wasn't entertaining at all. And you don't have to see my review of it. Like, this is watch everybody else's opinion, and you could just like go on, check somebody else on YouTube who has seen the movie. They didn't like it. Like, I don't think anybody will. It was just, I don't know why they keep trying to, spin off these. Sony, you need to just give all the rights back to Spider-Man, or give all the Spider-Man rights back to Marvel. Let them have their characters, and you have, let's see, what does Sony have? You got Jumanji. That's pretty good. Good, good for you. Stick with that. And, the other movie I saw was Wonka. And here's the thing. It wasn't bad. Like, because again, like I have this thing about, if you're going to try to, do a remake or a reboot, like the nicest thing you can do is try to do like a prequel. And as long as you're respectful to the source material, or at least the original, I get it. This movie was nothing what I thought it was going to be. Like, Wonka actually gets into like debt once he gets to America. And so now he's trying to like get himself out of debt by selling his chocolate. He has this thing because his mom died, and there is actually a little Oompa Loompa that's chasing him and stealing from him. So again, it wasn't anything I thought it was going to be. It is a musical, but I think the problem with this is the music wasn't awesome. Like, it wasn't bad either. It wasn't like, oh, he has a horrible voice. No, the music in here was, it was okay. It was just, it wasn't anything like, oh, hey, that's so snappy, I'm going to remember it. Like, besides the Oompa Loompa Doompity song or whatever, you're not going to remember any of these songs. They're not very catchy. They're not like, again, they weren't bad or anything. It's just, they weren't like, oh, wow, because I remember most of the songs from the original. And I'm just like, because they were so catchy, they were very upbeat, the Candyman can. And I'm just like, hey, it's something I could snap my fingers to. It's this one, I'm just like, okay, he's going to sing a song now. All right. He's going to probably sing another song now. And, and the actors in here, they weren't bad either. It was just, the songs weren't, great to make this a musical to where, oh, you know what? I'm going to replay that because I want to see that again. I got to show this to my kids. I got to show this to... No, it wasn't... Again, the best movie I saw was Beekeeper. So, I'm not going to show that to my kids. It's all violent, but it was still, the better movie out of everything I saw. But again, it's hit and miss sometimes. I know that, last year, Hollywood did a really good job with a lot of movies. Disney didn't. So we'll see how it goes this year. The one that I'm really looking forward to is Deadpool 3, or I'm sorry, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm assuming that's how it's going. Finally got to see the trailer for that from the Super Bowl, and very excited. Got to see what that's going to do, because that looks really good. And it's supposed to reboot the Marvel Universe, so don't know what that means entailing, if it's going to change characters or if it's supposed to help the franchise get better, because they've been having a lot of problems with trying to get their movies to, I want to say, back to Endgame level. And so whatever they got to do, if this is the movie that's going to do it, I hope it does, because it, it shows like, Deadpool's supposed to, I don't know if he's going to team up with some of the Avengers, or if he's supposed to be able to be now somehow in their universe. It looks like the TVA is the one that takes him in the trailer. And for those of you who don't know who the TVA is, you got to watch the show Low-Key. Apparently in Endgame, when the Avengers went back in time to try to get the Infinity Stones, in one of the timelines, they actually, Loki frees himself, or he lives, and he's not captured. So the TVA captures him and tries to recruit him to help them stop another Loki. And the TVA is in charge of like timelines, and the TVA stands for, I think, Time Variant Association or something like that. But they keep track of the timeline, try to help make sure nothing changed, or, nothing gets messed up or anything. So, again, it's a really good show. Like, it's up there with WandaVision, in my opinion, of how good it is. I really didn't like some of the other Marvel shows they had. She-Hulk Really didn't do too well. I did like the concept of it, though. I liked her breaking the fourth wall. I like the fact that they brought in the Daredevil. I like that they had... It just wasn't very action-packed. It wasn't great. Echo was awesome. So if you haven't seen Echo, that's good. Hawkeye was good, too. It's a Christmas-like thing now, too. So it's set around Christmas. So if you ever watch it around Christmas time, it's good. Did not like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I know they were trying to make like a buddy cop movie kind of thing where, oh, they hate each other, but they got to work together. I'm just like, yeah, didn't work for me. I'm trying to think of the other Marvel shows. Miss Marvel, that was another hit and miss because that was also, she was in the Marvels, the movie, and her character she's not a bad actress or anything. It's just that the storylines, I'm just not... Some of these characters you really don't really care about. I get it. You know, we want to focus more on some of the main Avenger people, or we want to learn more about the Hulk. I know he doesn't get his standalone movie because Universal has the rights to it, but we'll see what happens with in the future. But, so yeah, the other movie I'm looking forward to is going to be Godzilla X Kong. I don't know what the X is supposed to be for, but I guess they got to team up to fight somebody or fight something, so it looks really good. But yeah, this past weekend, again, Beekeeper was the only really good movie I saw, so hopefully things will start picking up for movies this year. And yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date on some of the other movies I get to see. But again, don't bother seeing Madam Web. You're not missing anything. Other people have done more in-depth reviews, so check those out. I'm not really going to try to go into it because I really don't want to. It really sucks. Again, if you want to see Wonka, go for it. You're just going to walk away from it being like, well, that was something. Like, again, good actors and stuff in it, but I'm just like, there's no iconic music that's going to make you like, oh, I love that song, or I remember that. And you're going to be like, so again, Beekeeper was a good movie. If you get a chance to see that one, go see it, or if it's out yet to watch. That was fun. So yeah, I will catch you later on ProdigiousTrip. Peace out.